Back in 1989, some guys made a game called Prince of Persia. Fast forward to 2003 and Ubisoft made a reboot. Fast forward again to 2010 and Disney made a movie based on the game. And of course they needed a game based on the movie based on the game. And that leads us to Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands. A game of parkour, action, water and parts. So many parts. So,
let's go!
The game opens with the prince telling us that the king told him to go and learn from his brother's example on how to be a better king or whatever. What was his name again?
Malik!
Oh, right. But when he arrives, he finds Malik's fortress under attack. One cutscene later, and we're in control. And the controls are pretty good actually. Prince has some real weight to him. He doesn't just start and stop on a dime. And the parkour moves, well, the parkour move, the wall run, is regulated to the R2 trigger. Some climbing, some fights, some puzzles, and some parts later, Prince finds himself in the secret treasure room where Malik is about to release King Solomon's army to help him win the battle.
If it is in my power to save this kingdom, I will do it!
I'm not trying to question your leadership. You don't even know what you're releasing. It's glowing. Don't touch it.
Falling! Look out! We have to get out! Head for the fortress!
So after that decision, Prince finds a blue portal that leads to somewhere where he meets Razia of the Jinn, who tells him that if the army left unchecked, it will cover the entirety of... She then gives him time rewind powers and says the only way to stop the army is by reuniting the two medallion halves. So the quest is on to find Malik once more. So, time rewind. Do I have to explain how time rewind works? You press R1, it rewinds time. More interestingly though, you can spend time tokens on 4 different elemental abilities: Earth, Wind, Fire and Ice. And here's the kicker, they're all pretty much useless. The Fire ability leaves a trail that hurts enemies, but the damage is negligible and it only leaves the trail when Prince is touching the ground, which is pretty much never. The Earth ability is a shield that blocks damage. The Wind ability is a shockwave, but it does so little damage that it's only useful against one kind of enemy, the bugs, that you only end up fighting 3 or 4 times through the game. And lastly, Ice, which covers Prince's sword and shoots out cones of damage.
Level up!
After some confusingly controlled lever puzzles, Prince finds himself in Razia's blue room where she gives him dominion over water. The most flushed out of the puzzle powers that allows you to freeze water by holding L2 so you can grab, wall run or jump from it. Then you catch up with Malik and find him a little more Gollum-like than you remember.
It seems I am not the only one who has gained power.
The seal is affecting your mind. You must stop this.
Why did you ask for my half of the medallion? Do you truly want the army gone?
Give me the medallion.
No!
Wasn't a question.
Were you anyone else, I would execute you for treason!
Precious!
Wait! That could have gone better. He accused me of treason.
An interesting part of the time rewind mechanic is that it works as a soft checkpoint system. You know you can jump without much thought when you have at least 4 get out of jail free cards in your pocket. And you don't need to study the specific amount of time a switch opens the way when you can just keep retrying it without being sent back.
Leave here alive after that!
This seems like a good a time as any to go over the combat. Prince can do 4 different actions: slash, kick, jump and roll, but every move, except for roll, has a deeper function to it. Kicking is mainly used to knock an enemy's shield out of the way, or knock them over, allowing you to very honorably go right for the ball. Slashing works in a 5-move sequence, so if you hold down the button on the 3rd, 4th or 5th slash, Prince will attack twice. And jumping allows you to jump onto an enemy, and from there do a super kick, a stab, or go from enemy to enemy for a more advantageous position, unless they have a shield. Right, so where were we?
Die, you monster!
Huh. Well, that was weird, but I'm sure Malik will be fine.
Ratash has killed your brother.
Oh, oops. After that little mishap, Razia gives him the power of flight. The power of flight isn't so much the power of flight as it's the power of short range damaging dash, but that's a little long, so Pusrud. Pots! A problem with Pusrud is that it doesn't have an icon letting you know when to use it, and since you can't use it without a target, it's easy to forget about, and sometimes, for whatever reason, it just won't work.
Can't believe it's come to this.
Hey, sirs? How do we get Prince to the next game location? Explosion flash to white?
This must be the entrance to the Jinn City.
Well, isn't that convenient? Going right back the best puzzle in the game, we descent into the Jinn City. You know the drill by now. There must be a way to save my brother. There isn't. Aww. Take this power and go find a sword to kill your brother. Okay. The memory power lets you materialize platforms from Razia's memory by pressing L1, with the limitation being that you can only do them one at a time, and that's about it.
Are you prepared? I do not think we should delay much longer.
I'm ready, but my own sword barely caught that Ratash's attention. How will this one stop him or the army?
This sword was built for this purpose.
Hold up a sec. If there's a sword that can kill Ratash, why do we waste all this time trying to remake the seal? And why'd they even make the seal if he can be killed? Anyway, the Sword of the Jinn has longer range, more damage, and most importantly, hitting a shield enemy now acts like a kick. It also has Rasia making whooshing noises when you slash. A somewhat tiring thing with the game's combat is that while the puzzles and platforming escalate in challenge throughout the game, the combat stays mainly the same. There'll be different enemies with different strategies, of course, but you'll be taking them down using the same 5-move sequence and the same 4 time powers at the end of the game as you were at the start. And it's a problem that could have been mitigated by integrating the puzzle powers into the combat, such as having arenas with platforms that you could dematerialize under an enemy with the memory power, or arenas with puddles that you could use to freeze an enemy in place with the dominion power. Out of all the powers Rasia gives you, the only one that gets close to the combat is Puzzrod, and he only enters combat before the big boy face buttons take notice and throw him back in the corner of the rest of the puzzle power. You might actually be able to use Puzzrod in combat. I just tried it once and when it didn't work, assumed you couldn't. Huh. A long menacing hallway near the end of the game.
What could possibly go wrong?
Malik, I'm sorry. I didn't...
I am the one who should be sorry. I did not listen to you. You saved us.
I'll get help.
No, it's too late for me. But tell our father I said, you will be as mighty a leader as King Solomon himself.
So Malik dies, and credits. Huh. A bit unsatisfying.
But wait! There's more!
After the credits, Prince tells us that he put the sword back where he found it and is going home to tell his father that he murdered his brother. The end.
Well, that was fun.